that number. And literally all, there's several piles. You didn't want to think about asking for it. You have to be inherited if you get it from Chesterfield. You don't get one there unless you get it. You have what is taught. They won't let you go anymore. They have porta potties. And you can't get those either. Tried a few years ago. Oh, it would be wonderful if I had my airplane close to home. Okay? And going a little further once I got on the road is really not a big problem for me. What is a big problem for me is that as a result of this, I'm going to end up with a hardship in that my airplane, which is worth considerably to me, plus my safety, is going to be a risk for a couple of years. Might be longer.
And that is the timing concern that we've noted, and we're going to address in the plan. I can't tell you how.
Well, that, of course, no one has asked me at the FAA, and they're not going to, but if they ask me, I says, if it doesn't harm me, I don't have a problem with it. If it harms me, I'm against it.
That's true. Reasonable. That's valid detail.
Okay, now this mountain of money that we're getting from this land, and we're going to give Sullivan this mountain of money to expand their airport, and we're going to tell Sullivan, you got to do this in order to get this money. What if Sullivan says, we don't want your money if we got to do what you're telling us we got to do. We don't want your money. That happened here in St. Clair. We had $69,000 that we give back. And because the city of St. Clair didn't want the money. Now, what if Sullivan don't want the money? This mountain of money. Then what?
That's their choice, and that's why we met with them this afternoon and asked them, how would you spend this money if you had it, so we have an idea of what they're doing.
Yeah, but what if they don't want it?
As I understand it, the sale from the property goes into the trust fund.
There's no trust fund. There's the sale of the property, the proceeds from the sale go to the FAA.
Right, the Aviation Trust Fund.
Ask us to, I don't know anything about a trust fund.
Well, it might go, but the FAA is saying they would prefer that the money stay within the region. They could decide that the money could be spent better someplace else.
Absolutely, it goes into the FAA fund, and basically it's there.
But they've asked us to come up with a plan to distribute the funds, and talking with the users, talking with the area airports, and get their input. I am very sure that the FAA Central Region wants to keep the money right here in Missouri and within this local region. And they're going to likely allow that to happen. But they need to have a plan, and they don't want to be in the position of having to generate that plan. They've asked us, the city, to put that plan together. We are seeking input to the plan. Whatever input we get, we're going to take and value it. We're going to try to create a plan that comes forward, that considers prioritization issues, maybe the same that MoDOT uses, their priority. I don't know. I haven't figured it all out. It all depends on what we get as input. And then we'll put forward the plan, and then there'll be a round of discussions with FAA and MoDOT if that plan makes sense. And if it does, then they still have to decide, is this a net benefit to civil aviation? That's their term. I'm not creating this term. No one here is creating this jargon. That's their jargon out of their handbooks. Net benefit to civil aviation. We have to demonstrate what it's going to be. They have to agree, and we have to come to terms and negotiate something. And we're trying to get all the parties to provide some meaningful input. We're reaching out.
What did you get, excuse me, what did you get from Washington Airport?
We're going to get it by mid-November.
Correct. They're going to submit plans to us by mid-November.
The same apply with Sullivan and
All
stuff,
of
waiting for
them.
their response.
Yeah. We've given them a month to pull together up their program. You know, how would they spend $2.5 million at their airport? On what projects?
How much?
$2.5 million.
Is that still allocation?
That's what we're expecting it's going to generate.
That will go to FAA for the distribution?
Yes. And it may go to one airport, may go to 2 airports, may go to 4 airports. We don't know.
The city won't receive any of the proceeds.
No, the city can't.
Not a dime.
Not a dime.
That all goes to general aviation, to the benefit of aviation within, hopefully, within this region. if we can get some good information on how it could best be spent in this region.
So if you're saying, and
We'll
I
have a
expect,
big plan.
I expect
They're
that
gonna say, well, you guys don't need money anyway.
Yeah, they're just taking it.
Washington County didn't come to the meeting this afternoon.
The key issue is the managers of the other airports.
Who didn't come?
Washington County.
That's what happened in December.
Okay, but we're still gonna consider them in the process. But they need to tell us how they would use the money. We are hearing that hangars are a big issue, pilots, terrific. Where should they go of these 4 airports? Which would be the one that you would favor? Now, if you don't have a favorite, then we'll make that decision, and we'll decide, using the input from the other airports, which ones want to build hangars, which one seems to make the most sense, and then you're leaving that decision to us in our plan. This is your opportunity to say, all right, I don't like moving from St. Clair. I never thought this would happen. But if it's going to happen, I would move my plane to XYZ airport. That's all we need to know. If you don't have a preference, then we'll reflect that in our report that the pilots expressed no preference for a hangar location, and we will figure out where we think it should go.
That's not good.
Well, if you're gonna get $2.5 million for the prime land here, could that be applied to some farmland on a hilltop somewhere here in Franklin County, eastern Franklin County, to build a whole new airport?
I doubt if there's justification for another airport.
Say that again?
I doubt that there's justification for another airport. Have you ever tried, I've worked on airport funding projects before. This is a drawn out process. Try and get money to make one bigger. Try and get money to make one better. My God. It's, oh, there's no money. Oh my God, you've got to prove that you're going to have all these extra uses before you get the money to create the ability to use. No. I can't imagine
Well, you stand back and remember
to build a new airport.
they thought for a while about building a airport in San Luis County. There's a rejection just parallel with 44. Citizens come out of the woodwork, did not want it near it, and it was up on top of the hill. It might have been an interesting place to come in, but it got killed really quickly.
Well, and even if there were private money available,
I mean, that was private money.
yeah. I don't think you'd ever get FAA. I could be wrong, but I think it would be an uphill battle to get FAA funding for it.
I can't see FAA justifying to headquarters, we're going to close an airport to build a new airport someplace else. I mean, it's not, I don't think they could walk in there with a straight.
In the cases where that happens, the FBO is overcrowded. There's a waiting list of many, many people. There's another FBO wanting to come on the field with no property to lease. There's no parking. To take it further, there's possibly an airline that wants to come in and the runway's not big enough. The very, very close case is Sullivan. Grass strip, some crappy hangars. That was the justification. They built what they did considering what they had. Very short grass strip, by the way.
So, I mean, if you could say to us, either tonight or in the next few days, you need to think about, all right, if I have to go, my druthers is to go here. We'd like to know that. If you don't have an opinion, then fine. We're offering you an opportunity to come forward and express your opinion on that. We can't make up your mind. We have to make up ours.
You're not actually, I think what you're really wanting to head there is that you're not wanting us to put ourselves up and say, well, we had a chance, we'd go here, but we like that better than here. We prefer, obviously, to be here.
Correct.
But we realize that being said, if the FAA justifies it and it feels like it's necessary, the idea was, you're trying, I don't know, I'm not going to get involved with determining the reasons you're trying to do this, but you're making an effort to influence the FAA we are talking to the existing pilots, they're not gonna talk to us. Where the money would be best spent.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that you're doing that. Obviously, I'm aware that your agenda is to close this place, and that, we've known that a long time.
My agenda is to better this community.
Your agenda is to generate revenue without it, you can't argue with that.
If we don't have revenue, we can't operate.
That's right. And so I know where you're coming from as far as that is concerned. We have St. Paul of Manchester, and then we have, and I'm not going to address the fact that the development may not do that, that's not my position. But I'm more taking a position as to, if they ask us to call us and they're going to, but assume they call us, we'll all say, no, we're going to stay here. We don't think we should put. And obviously for these reasons, and one of the major ones is we still have, well, not the attics, and not the shade floors, but we do have decent hangars. When I say decent hangars, they are better than, I checked both of them, they are better than the new ones built at Sullivan. And they're far better than the old ones at Cuba. I just been there. So they are not the low end of the pole that should be going down for to be rebuilt. Okay. That being said, I don't disagree with the fact that you guys would like to and probably economically need to use the ground for the purpose of other purposes. And if it allows you to do that, I would appreciate the fact you asked us this. I don't think it's going to really get the FAA to turn their head. But what would be preferred if the money be spent? Well, at least the FAA does have a flag over there that says, well, if we're going to kick them out, most of them want to go here.
Yeah, and that's the question that we've been trying to ask for now.
And I know that there's a logical reason why you're asking these questions. Obviously, you want to enhance the ability to get it close. Now, don't be honest here. You're going to be candid with me. You're going to say, hey, our agenda, and you already said that, our agenda is we need to close this because we need to use the land for a different purpose,
Our
geographics, etc. Now,
Our agenda for this meeting is to determine if and when St. Clair Regional Airport closes, where would you like to move your plane? That's
it is
the
not,
question.
your agenda is not.
That's the only question.
Your agenda is not saying, do you prefer to be somewhere else?
No, and yeah. If and when the airport closes, where do you think you're going to?
So it's not going to be presented to the FAA saying, well, these guys, if we close it, would rather be here anyway.
No, I think between you, you've certainly made it clear to the FAA, to MoDOT, to us, you just soon keep it open.
You got our message.
Not happening. Not happening. So, second choice. And that's all we've asked.
You can even fast forward this to the year 2026.
Do you think we're going to live that long?
Someone will. 2026, the grant obligations expire at this airport. And the city could just close it on that day. What would you do?
Maybe we'd have an administrator that thinks ahead a little bit and would like to expand on an airport.
Well, let's assume that's not happening.
Why isn't it
Not
happening?
happening.
If you are not here, you're not here, you're not here. If I'm here and we're in your place, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Right.
Much before 2026.
Let me say this. You accuse the city of not spending money to improve the airport.
Oh, my goodness.
Where are we
Look,
supposed to get the money?
well, where are you going to get all the money you sent? Well, that's $69,000. Why don't you use that money to spend it?
What's $69,000?
That was sent back about 2 years ago. It was sent to St. Clair 2 years ago. I think
Your information.
Jim,
The AIP
Jim
money.
Arndt knows where it's
We're
at.
talking about the AIP money that was not used.
I am speaking to Mr. Hoffman for 1 minute here. If it's up to the people of this city, they would rather have an additional police officer. They would rather have a treatment plant that accepts all their waste. They would rather have clean drinking water than subsidize a facility for 9 people. That's what they would prefer. Now, if you think they would go otherwise, then you can have this spot today, because I can tell you assuredly, they elected me with a very high percentage because they want another police officer. They want clean drinking water. They want streets. They want parks. The school needs money to expand their teacher base. How do they get that without an additional sales tax and property tax?
Why-
How do they get that?
Why?
You're on the school board.
All right. why tear down the airport? Why don't you build around the airport?
Because we need revenue, gentlemen.
I'm sorry, this conversation has gone on for over a year, or for 10 months.
I hope you got all that, Mr. DeVries.
And I don't.
Oh, I've heard it
really
before.
Listen to any more of it. That's real nice, I understand you believe your way,
No.
that's fine. The purpose of this meeting was to find out when the airport closes, where do you think you would move your plane? Now, we've gotten some feedback, we've gotten some indications of needs, we've gotten concerns on timing, those will be conveyed. Any further detail on your preference in target airports
Just give me-
will be included in our plan? No.
Give me just a moment.
No, sir. We're through. We're through.
We're done.
This meeting is over.
Now, that's
I'm sorry.
that's not a position you should be taking.
I'm sorry.
Let's go, boys.